All right, welcome back, Chelsea fans, to another London is Blue YouTube video. And today we are talking about the big one. If you have watched our Chelsea women's content on this channel all season, you know that this Sunday and next Sunday are the two biggest matches of the entire season. A heavyweight matchup, to say the least, as Chelsea takes on Barcelona in the Women's Champions League semifinals. Sunday's match is, of course, at around 12 Eastern in the States, and it's on DAZN, so you have to get the DAZN app. I don't believe these are going to be on their free YouTube, so this is going to be one that if you don't know where to watch, obviously, majority of the websites that'll tell you where to watch will tell you it's DAZN in the US. But go get the DAZN app. This is not a plug for them, but if you want to watch the match, that's basically the way you have to do it. So Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. It's a big matchup, and Chelsea are obviously starting this one on the road at Barcelona. In this video, we'll talk about the stakes and a little bit of the history between these two teams. We'll touch on Barcelona and their incredible stacked team that they have put together and continue to kind of reinforce year after year, and the task at hand for Chelsea women. And then we'll touch on Chelsea and what Chelsea need to do what they did last year, which is get a result at the Johan Cruyff Arena and make this a real battle back at Stamford Bridge in the second leg. So without any further ado, let's dive into this, because the stakes obviously could not be higher. Chelsea women are on a tear. They are up in the league. They've already won the League Cup. They're in the FA Cup final. And this title, this Women's Champions League, is the thing that is evading them. And Sonia Bonpastor has obviously won this as a player and a manager. So we are expecting that she will have a game plan to take on what is still, for me, the best team in the world in Barcelona. While the two teams have definitely gotten much closer than that final in 2021, the stakes for this one could not be higher. Like, this is an incredibly fun, interesting, really dynamic set of matches that we're going to play against them. And, you know, based on the history, you keep seeing Chelsea make up ground on Barcelona, just keep nipping at their heels, but not quite getting it done, even though the results have started to trend in a better direction. Just for a little bit of history, Chelsea and Barcelona have played 5 times. Chelsea have won one of those matches. We've drawn one of those matches, and we've lost 3 of those matches. Barcelona has scored 8 goals in the fixtures with Chelsea. Chelsea have only managed to score 2. And one of the more underrated things as we, get into Barcelona's setup is their defensive record is pretty excellent. So something to kind of keep in mind. 4 of those 8 goals that Barcelona have scored in the tie obviously came in the 2021 final. So since then, in the 4 matches that we played, the 2 sets of semifinals in the previous 2 years, they've only scored 4 goals. So Chelsea have really tightened up the defense against them, really frustrated them. Just to remind you of the fixtures previously, obviously the 4-0 Barcelona win in the 2021 final. Yeah, it still hurts. We were not at all ready to play that game, and it was very obvious from the start. Then in 2023 or 2022, 2023, I should say, it was a 1-0 win away for Barcelona to start this match, and then Chelsea were able to get a draw away at Barcelona, which was a eye-opener for a lot of people, because playing at Barcelona is a really, really difficult task, and Chelsea were able to play an outstanding game of football. We're very unlucky to not potentially win that game and put it into extra time. So there's that one in 2022, 23. And then last year was, I think, the closest that we've been to beating them. Have a magnificent, the best ever Chelsea women's performance I've ever seen. Performance on the road against Barcelona, 1-0 victory, which is still kind of seared into my brain. Aaron Cuthbert getting the winner, but a just incredible team effort across the board. The amount of running and sacrifice and blocking and shithousing, and there was a lot of shithousing in that game that Chelsea did to frustrate Barcelona so much that they went to the press and said that Chelsea were cheats and all this sort of stuff, only to then be cheats at Stamford Bridge and do the very same shit back to us. UEFA obviously and their refereeing problem stepped in at Stamford Bridge and helped Barcelona to a 2-0 victory at the Bridge, which advanced them to the final. This dynamic between these two teams, as the matches have become more competitive, Barcelona has been shaken a little bit. They have been. They have been so dominant in La Liga, and they've been so dominant in the Champions League. Chelsea are one of the few teams that can punch back and hit them just as hard as they hit other teams as they cruise through their quarterfinal with Wolfsburg. Felt like 10-1 on aggregate. I think it might have been 10-2 on aggregate. This is obviously different. Chelsea are a very, very talented football team. I would throw their talent against anyone in the world, including Barcelona. And we are really now set up for what could be a very, very tasty affair between these two teams, because I'll tell you, the Chelsea women's team know more than anything the stakes of this, and they are incredibly high. They're incredibly high for the likes of Millie Bright and Erin Cuthbert and Sam Kerr and the types of players who have been there and been so close to the mountaintop before. There's nothing more that they want than to push this over the edge and get this done and really show the world that Chelsea are not only one of the best teams in the world, that they are the best team in the world. And that is a lofty achievement to aim for. Some key facts heading into this one, courtesy of UEFA's website here. Since losing to Lyon in the 2017-2018 quarterfinals, Barcelona have won their last 17 two-legged women's Champions League ties. That's how dominant they've been since that moment. They've won their last 7 European matches, 22 of their last 26, only losing to Chelsea are one of those two. They have won 26 of their 28 women's Champions League home games. Their only defeat was to Chelsea last year. Chelsea have won 2 of their previous 10 semifinal matches. Not a great record. And then Chelsea have won 7 of their 8 games in this year's competition. Actually, our only loss coming this season, courtesy of Manchester City in the first leg. We obviously turned around and beat them in dramatic fashion. But let's get into Barcelona here, because as you guys know, they are incredibly good. And I think not only do we tip the cap to their talent, do we tip the cap to their style of play and their relentlessness and their press and their defense, but it's a very dynamic, interesting team to watch. They cover ground in a way that feels almost insane to watch, especially if you watch the women's game as much as I do. They cover ground at a capacity and at a clip that feels not human at times. and I say that with respect and not accusing them of anything. They are incredibly difficult to maintain mental discipline against. And I'll throw some more facts at you here. If you watch last year's fixtures, Periabuelo was a key instigator on the left wing. She scored 3 times across the 2 quarterfinal matches against Wolfsburg. Pina has been on fire this year up top as their striker. They obviously have Alexia Putellas. They obviously have Aina Bonmati. They obviously have a strong defense. Like, this is a team that is absolutely stacked. And they won the trophy last year. They beat Lyon 2-0 in Bon Pastor's last match for Lyon. And it was kind of a pretty simple and straightforward match there. Bonmati and Putellas getting the goals there. They are incredibly dominant in domestic competitions. Their current, this is not a joke, their current league table is they're up. They haven't had like the greatest run, I would say, like compared to previous years, but they have 72 points. Real Madrid is next on 65, and then Atletico Madrid is in third on 45. It's a very top-heavy league, just like La Liga is on the men's side. These two teams have done a lot of damage. The difference is Barcelona have only lost twice in the league, one of those coming recently to Real Madrid. They have a plus 91 9-1 goal differential in the league with 107 goals scored and only 16 conceded. 91. It's absurd. They're in the Champions League. Just reading off some of their top statistical stat makers here. Claudia Pina with 7 goals and assists. Payor 7. Bomati 7. Nazareth 6. Graham Hansen, who we know all too well, 4. Puteas 4. Mappy Leon 4. Brooks 4. Guajiro 4. I mean, they basically are getting, and Pariuelo just got 3 in the last. She's on 3, but she just got them in the last tie. They are stacked across the board. They get contributions from across the board. Their highest rated players in the Champions League so far are Pina, Graham Hansen, Nazareth Leon, Bonmati, Pariuelo, and Vicky Lopez. These are the kind of top 6, 7 in terms of SOFA score. And Pina and Graham Hansen are in the rare average 8.28, 8.05 territory. Incredibly hard to do, and it shows just consistency of performance throughout the Champions League. Just to give you a sense of their Champions League run so far, because it's nuts. 8 matches played, 36 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, 23 assists on those 36 goals, which tells you everything you need to know about the way that they play, which is very unselfish, very high volume of passing. That equates to roughly 4.5 goals a game. They've scored 2 penalties. They've had 2 free kicks go in. Almost all their goals are from inside of the box. 30 of those goals are from inside of the box. Only 5 are not. They're left and right-footed, about split. They don't do a ton of heading. I think that probably goes with that being said, that they play their game on the floor. They take roughly 24 or 25 shots per game. It's 24.5, so round up, round down to what you need to. 10 of those being on target. So you think about what Chelsea potentially has to do in this circumstance, like 25 shots a game on average is incredibly difficult. Now, Chelsea don't typically see that many shots per game. Even when we have played poorly this season, we rarely get to the point where the other team is shooting at that volume and that volume on target. But it means that Hannah Hampton, much like last year, and Millie Bright, Natalie Bjorn, the whole crew are going to have to be on their toes to ensure that Barcelona are not getting good shots. They're not getting good shots on target. This is a monumental task, I should say. We know how they play, right? It is a quick passing game. They try and create overloads, and they definitely try and confuse defenders with positioning. They will oftentimes swap positions, make deep runs. They will try and create those overloads on the wings. Their midfield will run in late to cause chaos. They will go down easily. They will appeal for penalties. They will complain to the referees. They will do all the standard Barcelona stuff that I absolutely loathe about Barcelona and their men's team. Their women's team also does a similar thing. I wish they didn't do it, but they do. So Chelsea are also going to have to watch out for getting baited into some of that stuff. Keep your head. Make sure that you're not getting a really easy yellow card that you have to sit on for the entire game or over the tie. It'd be a terrible thing to do against a really, really important team. And more than anything, Chelsea just have to figure out a way to take advantage of what can be a bit of a high press forward Barcelona. Last year, if you remember, the way that we played against them was very much on the counterattack, a back 3 setup. Ashley Lawrence doing incredible work on the left wing. You had our midfield absolutely everywhere, dominant. Aaron Cuthbert and Melly Lupol is just doing insane work. The work rate from Myra Ramirez when the ball did go forward to hold it up and try and create mismatches on breaks. The team is going to have to figure out how they want to play. And that's why we're going to get to the third point, which is all about Chelsea. We know Barcelona's tough. We know they're big and scary. We know that we haven't necessarily had the most success against them, but that we're closing the gap. Chelsea found a way to frustrate them last year. We played a low block. We absolutely congested the middle. We didn't let them get any easy shots on target. We defended like crazy. We won every tackle. We beat them to many of the kind of 50-50 balls in the away leg. And it caused us to win the match. Aaron Cuthbert's strike was enough to get us the 1-0 victory in that game. That's probably not what is going to happen in this one. And I say that because Sonia Bonpastor has not shown that she is willing to go into the sort of shell that Emma Hayes was willing to go into to compete against Barcelona. And it's going to be incredibly interesting to think about because Chelsea have been, pretty ball dominant this year, I should say. Roughly like 55, 60% a game, a lot more passes than our opposition, especially in the WSL. We have a lot more talent than a lot of our, WSL opposition. But Barcelona is the cream of the crop when it comes to possession. It'd be very interesting to see if Bonpastor plays aggressive, if she tells the team to press the hell out of them, if she thinks we have the legs to do that, or she elects to do some sort of hybrid press like Manchester City did to us, where we kind of sit in the middle and wait for them to kind of build out of the back and set traps. Or if we go all the way low block and spring counterattacks with some of our speedy players on the outside. Barcelona can be had defensively. I know the defensive record is great. Their defensive record is great largely because they have so much of the damn ball. They can be had, though. And Chelsea had many chances last year to score goals. But Chelsea will need to be clinical. This is one of the most important fixtures of the season. Chelsea will need to score the goals that they have opportunities to score. It may be few and far between. It may be really difficult. But when that moment comes, do you have the composure of an Aaron Cuthbert or a Guro Reiten to put the ball into the back of the net at Barcelona? An incredibly difficult thing to do. But if Chelsea can get a result and take it back to Stamford Bridge, then all bets are off. Then we can have some fun doing this. And I say this because when I think about the first leg of these fixtures, and I would even, throw Chelsea's men's fixtures against Barcelona into it because it's very kind of similar dynamics in a lot of ways between the two teams. You can rarely win a two-legged tie in the first leg, but you can certainly lose it. And if we're not careful playing away at the Johan Cruyff Arena in front of their fans, I'm sure there's going to be a hell of a lot of Chelsea fans there as well because our fans are incredible. But if we are not careful and we let them do what they do and they win 2 or 3-0, it's going to be very, very hard to see Chelsea coming back from that because Barcelona are a fair bit better than Manchester City were. And they are not nearly as injury-riddled as City, and it's going to be very difficult. So Chelsea need to keep their heads. They need to limit damage. They need to take the opportunities that are in front of them. And really, you're playing to take this back to Stamford Bridge and show up in the biggest match of the season at home, under the lights, really prove to everyone that you're the best team in the world. There'd be nothing better than that. That's what I hope absolutely happens. This one away, I'm kind of thinking about the predicted lineup because it's really interesting to kind of think about who might play. My predicted lineup is as follows because I do think we're going to play a little bit more conservative in this game. Hampton, of course, in goal. Bronze, Bright, Bjorn, Charles. I think Niamh Charles is a better defender than Sandy Baltimore. I think it's incredibly important in a game like this that you have a defender who can really stand up and play one-on-one with Caroline Graham-Hansen. And Niamh Charles is the best that we have at that. So we got to play our best defender in that lineup. I think you go with a midfield 3 in this one, but maybe not the midfield 3 that you're thinking about. I think you have to have some semblance of possession in this game. So I do think Kira Walsh will play against her former team. Aaron Cuthbert will, of course, play. And I think Micah Hamano, who is tireless when she is healthy, and let's hope that she is healthy. I'm recording this, of course, before Sonia Bonpastor's press conference, where we'll learn more about injuries and all sorts of good stuff. I think Micah Hamano could be incredibly important in a game like this, either marking Bonmati or Putellas, or just pressing in general and harrying Barcelona into making a mistake. Then I kind of think about the forwards. Who do I want? What sort of profiles do I want in this kind of forward line? And I really wrestled with this, to be honest with you, because I don't think Lauren James will be available. That's my gut at this moment. So I'm kind of going with a funky front three, but I think it could be an effective front three for a lot of reasons. Sandy Baltimore's earned a start on the left wing for me. She's an excellent progressive carrier. She has shown great skill on the ball. There will be moments where we need to hold the ball and get our shape set up offensively. And I think she could be an excellent resource to do it. She's maybe not the quickest or will burn, Barcelona's defense vertically, but I do think her ball possession and control will be incredibly important, so we aren't losing it and turning it over and getting into a track meet. Myra, of course, has to start up front for me in this match. She is that vertical threat, and she has a pretty decent record against Barcelona. She absolutely bullied them in the away leg last year. I want to see her get the goal this year. And then I think Aggie Beaver-Jones on the right. And I wrestled with her or Johanna Ritten-Kanerud because I'm not sure which one is better suited for this sort of lineup that I'm picking here. I just know that Aggie is the hot hand, and so I'm going with Aggie, who has an incredible work rate and has shown the ability to get a really important goal when we need one. That leads to super subs. Who's going to come on and potentially make a difference for us? Gro Wrighton, back healthy, thank God. Katmack, I think will come on for Micah and potentially give us a little bit more of a spring threat as far as vertical passing goes. Shuka Nuskin to come on and spell either Walsh or Cuthbert after a really hard shift. Vika Kaptein the same way. And then I do think JRK comes on and makes a difference late, maybe stretches a tired Barcelona defense, maybe gets a goal. So that's all I got for this one. I know there's a lot into this fixture. I really do hope that you tune in on Sunday at noon Eastern in the States on DAZN to watch Chelsea women play Barcelona. These are the two biggest fixtures of the season. Come on, Chelsea. And until next time, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.